Hi guys, and welcome to a new Finst podcast episode. Today I'm very honored to have a special guest today, Sjuul, AltCryptoGems.
Absolutely.
Could you introduce yourself to the people at home?
Yeah, for sure. First of all, thanks for being here. I like the invite. Obviously, good to be in Amsterdam again. Like you said, my name is Sjuul Vullings, better known as AltCryptoGems these days. And I do pretty much anything crypto related at the moment. And I started off with trading meme coins, low cap altcoins. And that's what I still do to this day. But now we've expanded to Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, you name it. And sort of the way how I started with crypto is I was playing a video game. You probably know the game Counter-Strike, shooting game, obviously. And the weapons that you're shooting with, you were able to trade skins. And I found out that there was, at that time, we had a lot of gambling online. And you were able to trade the skins on different websites with different values. So pretty much one, pink skin, for example, was worth $100 on one website and $150 on the other. So I found a way to start trading them. And I made some money with it. And it wasn't too much. It wasn't life-changing money, but it was a good amount of money. But the only way to cash it out was in crypto. And at that time, I was still studying. So I cashed it all out in crypto and in Bitcoin. And that's sort of, we all know the story. We're talking about 2016, 2017-ish. And from that moment on, crypto went up and up and up. So fast forward to the end of 2020, beginning of 2021, when the Binance Smart Chain exploded, I started trading so many different altcoins and low cap meme coins, shit coins, as they call it these days. But at the end of the day, I had no clue what coins I traded, how many I traded, did I make some profit or not. So I needed a place to do my bookkeeping. And that's where I started my Twitter page, now known as X, obviously, where everything I did, my buys, my sells, my portfolio, I just posted all on my Twitter page, pretty much for my own bookkeeping. And eventually people started to follow me for it. And I kept on going. And then, halfway 2021, projects or platforms like Binance started to reach out to me, say, hey, we like your content. Perhaps we can work together. So from that moment on, it sort of turned into a company where I can actually, turn it into a business. And that's what I've been doing for the past 3 years now, and we're now sitting at almost 800,000 followers on all platforms together, and it's now a real company with a team and people behind it.
Yeah, that's such an inspiring story actually. Because something started out as a fun thing.
Yeah.
Actually, you were playing a game, and then at the end of it, you have hundreds and thousands of followers, and actually turned the entire business into something profitable for you personally as well, right?
Yeah.
But what was the moment when you decided for yourself, I need to do this more seriously than just keeping record of the trades I'm doing right now? Because there's like a tipping point where you decide there's more I can do with this, right?
Yep. It started when when sort of Binance or other platforms started to reach out to me saying, hey, can we do some marketing together? Or I can't remember the name, but it was a project that sent a message saying, hey, we need some advice on how to launch this coin or how to trade with this coin. And at that point it started because I knew I can actually ask money for my knowledge at that point. So then it sort of started, and then I remember in September, October 2021, I was busy with crypto pretty much all the time. Then my girlfriend said to me, I don't see you anymore. You're either behind a laptop or you're sitting behind your phone. Because during the day I was still working my regular 9-to-5 job, and then in the evening I was doing my crypto stuff. So she said, I only see you behind a laptop or behind a phone. And at that moment, I thought I need to make a choice here. I need to make a decision on, do I go crypto full time and say, you know what, I'm going to try to turn it into a business and go at it full speed ahead, or is this the maximum I can do and I'm just going to stay at my 9-to-5 job? But I liked the crypto part. It was bringing in money at that time, obviously. So I had to make a decision, and I chose for the crypto part. And in honesty, we were sitting at the bull run, so it was a very good time to go in crypto full time. And October 2021, I quit my job, went full time in crypto, And that's what we're still doing today.
Very cool. And what job did you have before? What was it anything relevant to trading or crypto at all, or investing?
No. I mean, I've always been interested in doing stuff online. For example, the video game part, where I saw there was a way to make money. So I created forums when I was younger. I traded the sneakers, the Yeezys by Kanye West. So I've been busy online all the time. But I was a cybersecurity consultant for a software company. And I still liked doing it. I mean, I didn't quit my job because I didn't like it anymore, but I just had to make a decision. And I like doing both. And at that time, crypto was booming. So that's why I chose for crypto. But I studied computer science for 4 years, and then went into a cybersecurity consultant position for 3.5 years. I think I did it, and then into crypto.
Very cool. But you are kind of famous for investing into very low market cap coins, right? That's why you probably have the name AltCryptoGems to start with. That's kind of very opposed to what everyone is advising or suggesting, or where you should look out for, right?
True.
So why did you decide to go for the very low market cap coins, and how do you protect yourself to actually make a profit?
Yeah, it's a good question actually, because the way I started wasn't really for to turn it into a business. Like I said, I started off by trading the coins because I like doing it. And near the place for my bookkeeping, and that's how I sort of started the Twitter page. And when that got bigger, I still liked trading the low cap altcoins, like you say. I still do it to this day because I like doing it, and that's why I still post about it on my pages. So it wasn't really a choice where I say, you know what, I'm gonna try to make a business, so I'm only gonna do the low cap ones. I just like doing it myself, and I posted about it, and that's what I still do. So that's why I talk about it. On pretty much YouTube, Twitter, you name it. And it's a funny thing that when I started in 2021, no one liked these coins. Like you said, everyone was saying, these are shit coins, you need to go to Bitcoin, you need to go to Ethereum. What you're doing here doesn't make any sense. And I've been trying to say for the past years that I agree that I wouldn't call it investing in these coins, because usually these coins only last for 1 or 2 or 3 days. It's more trading. So the moment I buy a coin, I try to sell it at the end of the day already. So I don't really invest in them. I only trade them, if you know what I mean. So that's one thing I always say. And right now, meme coins are sort of a hype. I mean, you must have known this as well, where a couple of years ago, everyone said meme coins make no sense. You don't need to be in meme coins. Now you see big exchanges talking about meme coins. You see them listing meme coins. Pretty much everyone likes meme coins these days. And that's a fun shift to see in the last couple of years. Where I think these days, if someone is starting with crypto, they see Pepe going 100x on TikTok. They see meme coins doing well on Instagram. Then they get started with crypto because they want to have the same sort of success or the same results. And then once they do, they turn it into Ethereum or Bitcoin or any other Bitcoin. And that, I think, is the best way to get people in crypto. They start off with random coins because they see it on TikTok or whatever, and then move over those funds to the bigger ones and the more serious ones. I think that's the best way to get people in crypto, and that's what's happening right now.
But what if someone loses all their money? Because the odds that you will lose are probably higher than not just the fact that something needs to go up, but there are also rug pulls or other risks that people maybe may not be aware of.
Yeah,
right?
True. And exactly that is what I'm trying to educate people on. So what I'm trying to say is I can talk about Ethereum, I can talk about Bitcoin, but the people coming in crypto right now, I think, are the ones buying Pepe or the other ones. So I think it's a better place to be in right now to educate on how to trade Pepe successfully without getting scammed or rug pulled or whatever, then try to educate on what is Bitcoin or how can you get started with Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of those. Yes, the downside is that the risk is a lot higher in these low cap coins because, like you said, they can, you have so many scams, you have so many rug pulls, they can go to zero within an hour. However, the reward is bigger as well because let's say you have you've got $1,000 right now, you can invest it in Bitcoin. It'll probably go up in the coming years, but it won't make you into a millionaire. Let's be honest. Whereas the stories right now are people invest in low cap coins, which have very good returns as well, but the risk is there as well. And exactly that risk and that sort of trying to educate people on how to prevent them getting rug pulled, how to prevent to buy the scams. That's exactly what I'm trying to do with my pages. And one very simple thing is, if you want to buy Pepe right now, there are, I'd say, 500 different Pepe coins out there. And I try to sort of prevent people to having to buy 95% of the scams. I try to get rid of those to only leave the 5% of tokens that aren't really scams, but have the possibility to go up or down pretty much. That's exactly what I'm trying to do these days.
And are you saying that you can become a millionaire with these coins, or is it still...
No, I mean, you can become... I mean, it's hard to say, yes, you will be a millionaire, because I don't think it's that easy. But what I'm trying to say is that the reward is higher with these low cap coins, but the risk is a lot higher as well. And I think if you try to trade these coins with proper risk management and education, that there is a way to make profit in these coins. And then it's easier to get started with these coins. So you don't need $1 million to get started with these meme coins. Whereas if someone comes up to me and says, hey, I want to make as much money in crypto, but I've only got $500 to start off with, I'm not going to advise them to buy Bitcoin or Ethereum, because what's the point? Maybe your $500 becomes $700 or $800 within a year. That's not what people are looking for right now in crypto. And that's why I think meme coins still have a bright future ahead. But we need to educate the people on how to trade these coins.
Very true. Okay, and would you consider yourself more a trader or an investor? Because then I can imagine that you're holding other coins in the meantime, right?
Yeah. I'm trying to make a sort of a shift in different portfolios. So I trade, and that's what I try to tell people, I trade the low cap coins. For example, what I'm always saying is whenever a low cap coin does a 2x or maybe even a 3x, you need to take out your initial investment, because the token can go to zero within an hour, so to speak. That's what I'm trying to tell everyone, that you have a different portfolio for low cap coins and then another one for mid-term coins and long-term coins. I'd say I trade the low cap ones and I invest in the mid to long-term ones. For my own sort of trading.
Okay, and could you share which coins you are holding right now and why you're holding them?
What I try to do is to run on a narrative. What I mean with that is, you must know this as well, in crypto you see certain hypes. For example, we had AI, we now see RWA, DPIN, and what I try to do is I run on a hype that's happening, and whenever the hype dies down, I shift over my coins to a new hype that's happening. So when AI was hot, I was trading a lot of AI coins. Now we see AI sort of, it's still there, but you see it sort of, we're in a sort of going down right now. Then RWA and DPIN is hot at the moment. So then I try to shift over my portfolio to RWA and DPIN coins. And then we go up with those. And then eventually when that sort of narrative dies down, I move over to the other narrative that's happening.
And where do you discover these narratives? Is this on Twitter, or do you do your own research, or how does it work?
Twitter, Telegram, YouTube. I'm on these channels pretty much 24/7. And I think sometimes people ask me and they say, you know what, I've got half an hour a day for crypto. Should I start trading these coins? And then I try to advise them to not do it, because you need to be in this full time if you want to trade these coins actively. If you don't have the time, then don't try to. You're fighting up against people like me who are in them for 24/7. You can't expect them to be profitable with just 30 minutes a day, if you know what I mean. So if you only have got a couple minutes to spare, then I wouldn't say start trading these daily or actively. Then you're better off just buying a couple coins for half a year or a year, more of a long-term investment, than trying to beat people like me who are in it for 24/7 a day. So I find it on Telegram, Twitter, YouTube, pretty much any social media. Also the scanners, so ETH scan, BSC scan, we still sort of look at coins that are newly being launched, and then I do some research into the token, and if I like it, I invest in it and talk about it.
And what do you think about the current trend that's going on with the different spot ETFs that are being launched? Because we've had the Bitcoin spot ETF, now we had the approval of the Ethereum spot ETF, and recently also there has been a request for a Solana spot ETF. Do you think this trend will continue, and if so, with which kind of projects?
I think it will continue, and I think it's a positive way for crypto right now, more in the long term. So what I don't think sometimes people ask me and say, hey, we now have ETF, will we see Bitcoin at 100K within a week? I don't think that's the case, but I do think in the long run that the ETFs will help in regards to global crypto adoption. And like you said, we see it with Bitcoin, we see Ethereum, we now see Solana, and I think once we get started, we're going to see other ones as well. So yes, I do think we're still going to see this sort of hype or narrative or I do think we're going to see more ETFs.
There are still people who believe Bitcoin is a bubble or that Bitcoin will
true.
go to zero. What are your thoughts about this?
I think crypto is here to stay. We now see crypto pretty much everywhere. If you asked this a couple of years back, I would have said I wouldn't know. Maybe it's a sort of a hype or it's a new development right now. But now you see crypto everywhere. We see it in I don't know, from Formula One to different sports to we now have we have literally Trump and Biden talking about crypto in the elections. So that means we're getting somewhere. And with the ETFs, I'd say we are heading for a global crypto adoption right now. So I wouldn't say it's a bubble. However, the price obviously is hard to say. Bitcoin is now at 62, 63K. Will it be at 100K in a year? I don't know. Will it be 30K in a year? I don't know. So I think the price itself is hard to say, but I do think Bitcoin and crypto is here to stay. So I wouldn't say it's a bubble anymore. I think we've passed that stage pretty much.
But when you say here to stay, this could also mean that we'll see a Bitcoin at 15,000, for example, in the future.
Yeah, I mean, obviously with the ETFs coming in, with institutions being able to invest in crypto, I see Bitcoin more going towards a sort of digital gold. So whereas we had the big sort of fund managers have a X percentage in real estate, X percent in stocks, X percent in gold. I think we're going to add Bitcoin and maybe some others into these portfolios. So that usually means that the price would go up. So 15K might be difficult for Bitcoin to see right now. But I mean, it's something can happen in the world which we don't know yet, like a war or the things we have with COVID, where everything is going to zero pretty much. So the price is hard to say, but I do think Bitcoin is going to be more the digital gold of the future.
All right, and then some speculation.
Obviously.
Will we see Bitcoin at 1 million per coin?
Within a certain time frame or?
Ever, I would say.
I think ever 1 million. I think in the future we might, yes. But it's hard to say a specific time. I think 100K is obviously a lot easier. I think for sure we're going to see 100K Bitcoin. I even think higher than 100K. And I don't think it's going to take that long. But 1 million is difficult to say. But I think eventually in the future, we could see 1 million. Yeah.
All right, then what about 10 million?
I mean,
because you're kind of hesitant about the 1 million mark, right? So I'm kind of curious if you're one of the people who believes it will keep going to the top right, or that it will mature and reach a certain price. Because let's say the plan B, the stock to flow model, right? You see that there will be a new higher price every cycle. Do you think Bitcoin will keep continuing this cycle and set higher prices indefinitely, or?
I mean, I think Bitcoin will set higher prices, like the stock to flow or plan B idea, but it's right now we're sitting at 60K, and before we're getting to 10 million, we might be so many years ahead that I don't know what's going to happen in the world, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, for sure.
So if we're sort of staying at the part that we're sitting at right now, then yes, I do think Bitcoin will reach 1 million and 10 million. However, I think something will happen in the future that we don't know yet that might sort of bring it down, or we get something new, or something's happening in the world which will stand in the way of Bitcoin reaching 10 million.
Mm-hmm. And when do you think Bitcoin will go up in price again? Because we've been in some sort of consolidation for the last few months.
Yeah.
Will we go higher? And if so, when do you think we will go higher?
I mean, it's no financial advice, obviously. But I think sort of towards the end of this year, so more September, October, November, Q4 pretty much of this year, Q3, Q4, I think we will see Bitcoin go up. And then start of next year, so let's say February, March of that year, I think altcoins are going to run, because usually what you see is Bitcoin does well, and then altcoins come a bit later or after Bitcoin pretty much. So I'd say at the end of the year, Bitcoin going up, and then start of next year, altcoins joining the Bitcoin show, and then we will have alt season.
And why do you think this will happen in that time, and why do you think the altcoins will go later than Bitcoin?
Because if you look at it, what we've had the past cycles, I mean, obviously it's not always the case where we had something happening in history that it's bound to happen again. But if you compare all the cycles and you check up the sort of time frames that we've had, if you move that over to what we're sitting at right now, then we would be at around sort of the peak of everything, peak bull run next year, September-ish. At that time you want to sort of be out of crypto, or at least have sold a big part. So that's sort of what I do. I check at the previous cycles, I check at what we're sitting on right now, and if you compare those with the time frames that we had, then we'd see Bitcoin running at the end of this year, and then altcoins after that. Because we had it in previous cycles as well, where Bitcoin started to go first, and then altcoins go after Bitcoin. I can't remember exactly, but usually between 4 to 6 months after Bitcoin, which is why I think next year we're only going to have the altcoin show.
Yeah, I think I'm also a firm believer in the Bitcoin cycles, but this will probably also mean that you will be selling most of your crypto, like you say, next year. Will this be a final exit, or will you start buying in again in the next bear market?
I like to DCA, so and that's what I always try to advise people as well. Sometimes I'm sitting at a birthday and someone says to me, hey, I've got 5K savings money saved up, I want to buy crypto. Should I buy Bitcoin right now? Then they say, you know what, I'm going to invest all the 5K into Bitcoin. I try to advise them and say, you know what, I think it's more smart or more clever to DCA your way. That way you're getting more of an average price. And I try to do with selling as well. So I'm not going to sell my crypto all at once at the end of the year or next year. I sort of DCA on the way up. And once we go down, then I will be buying back crypto. And then hopefully we're getting a bear market again for a year or 2 years or 3 years where I can slowly DCA again. And then in a couple of years, we'll see a cycle again. So I am going to sell, but I'm not going to be out of crypto completely.
This basically means that there is a time where people are too late to start with crypto because people like you will be selling, right?
Yep.
Or do you think that they still have a chance to make money? Let's say they start in 1 year when you'll start selling. Do you think these people are still able to make money, or do they have to wait a certain time before the prices are lower?
I think it depends what you want. So let's say you are a very wealthy man and you've got $1 million laying around, and you say, you know what, I want to preserve my capital and I want to have some, have it grow over the coming 10 years, 15 years, 20 years. Then I don't think you're too late, because like I said, crypto will go up and then will go down with the bear market, but eventually will go up again. So for those type of people, I don't think it's an issue. But let's say you are the guy that has the 5K in savings money and you want to, invest it in some crypto and make some return within a year, then I wouldn't advise on buying Bitcoin within a year from now. However, the coins that I'm in, so the meme coins, the narratives, like I said, I think it's more clever to invest in those coins because you can still make money with it, but then you have to either actively trade or see it more as a short to midterm trade that you're doing. So it depends on what money you have, what your goal is, how much money you want to make, how long you want to have your money, sit in crypto. So it depends on what you want, pretty much.
And for the people at home, could you explain what DCA actually means and is?
Yeah, sure. It means that you're trying to get a average buy and sell price. So what I mean with that is, let's take the example of 10K. You've got 10K to invest in crypto. You can say, you know what, I'm going to place a buy order right now for 10K. I'm just going to buy all of it at once, possible. What DCA means is you don't do it all at once, but you do it sort of periodically. So let's say from the 10K, you're going to invest 1K right now. Next month, you're going to do 1K again. Month after that, you're going to do 1K again. You keep on doing it until you have no more money left. That's sort of buying DCA, but you can also sell DCA. So let's say you've got a 10K position in Bitcoin or crypto or any coin that you want. You can either say, you know what, I'm going to sell all of it right now, and I'm going to cash out and get my 10K. But you can also say, you know what, I'm going to sell it right now. I'm going to sell it in a month. I'm going to sell it in a month after that. And that way you're getting more of an average price. So you can do it by selling, but also by buying. You can do it monthly, you can do it weekly, you can do it every year, whatever you want. But DCAing usually means that you don't do it all at once, selling or buying, but you do it more periodically.
So you don't have to time the market, basically.
Exactly. And
for the people at home, with Finst, we have a special feature called Auto Invest, where you can basically DCA daily, weekly, bi-weekly, or monthly for all assets and crypto bundles. And if you decide to auto invest on a specific crypto, you're also able to automatically withdraw to your own personal hardware wallet. So that's something we gladly use.
I think it is a very good addition to have as an exchange as well, because still people are trying to time the exact top or bottom, which I always try to advise on. Pretty much no one is able to get the exact bottom or top, so why even try? And that's why I think DCA is the best way to get started with crypto, and also by selling your coins, especially if you don't have the time to watch the charts all day, because that way you're getting into crypto, but it's all happening automatically. So I think it's a very good addition to have.
When I'm listening to your stories and strategy, I noticed that you're more focused on the time in the market, for the 4-year cycles. You're not really setting price targets. You don't really have a feeling or idea where the price is going for, let's say, Bitcoin. You're just looking at the time in the market, basically, and try to get an average buying price and an average selling price. But do you have any expectations for what value a coin will have, or are you just looking at the time factor?
It depends on what coin we're trading. If we're trading low cap coins, then there's no real point in time. Then I'm just setting targets. Like I said, if it does a 2x or 3x, I try to sell it. But if we're talking about bigger coins, then I just try to go for the time, because like I said, I don't try to time the exact targets or get the exact targets, because I don't think anyone is able to. So why try to? So it depends on what coins we're talking. If we're talking about low cap coins, then yes, I do set targets. If we're talking about the bigger ones, then I go on time completely. It just depends on which one.
Something I'm noticing is that you're really focused on where you are in the 4-year cycle, right? So you're trying to get an average buying price, an average selling price, but you're not really setting any price targets for a crypto.
No.
Do you pay attention to this at all, or is there
it depends on what coins I'm trading. So like I said, I try to make a shift into low cap coins that I'm trading daily, but also coins that I'm holding for a long term. The ones that I'm trading daily, I do watch the price target or the time or the targets at which to sell. Because like I said, I usually have a strategy where a token does 2x, 3x, I try to sell it. So then it's purely based on price. Because I don't think there's any use in trying to do anything with time, because the tokens I'm trading are live for 1 hour, for example. So at those tokens, I do watch the price. But for the other ones, I don't think it's very hard to set certain prices. I mean, you can say, you know what, I want to sell Bitcoin at 100K, for example, which is perfectly fine. But I think you're better off trying to do it on a, like we said, a DCA way, more like a time period, because that way you're thinking about it more rationally and less emotionally. So if you're thinking about, you know what, Bitcoin needs to go to 100K before I'm selling, then you're more of an emotional trader. And I think in crypto, it's better to be more rational, where I just think I'm selling or buying every month, then it doesn't really matter what price it is. That's sort of, so it depends on the low cap ones I do price targets, the higher ones I do time targets.
Okay, and how are you able to find a token that's live for 1 hour? And when you found it, how do you decide if it's a scam or not?
Yeah. Like I said, I'm on the social media part pretty much 24/7. Luckily now, that is a company, I've got a team helping me do this, so I don't have to do it all on my own anymore. Also with due diligence, with checking if it's a scam or not, we now have a team of 3 that are fully focused on due diligence. So whenever we find something, we share it in between us and do research to try and find to filter out the scams, so to speak. And so we search social media. We also go on, like I said, the chain explorer, so ETHScan, BSC scan, you name it, where we check for newly listed tokens. Whenever we find one, we do the research and see what team is behind it, what's the community behind it, what socials do they have, what website do they have, is there a roadmap, is there a white paper? And then you also have basic tools these days where you can input a contract address, so you can input a token. And it sort of gets you a summary and says, you know what, this is wrong, this is solid, this is wrong, etc. And also things like bubble maps, for example, is a tool that you can use where you can see what wallets are holding what percentage of tokens. So what you sometimes see is you have a specific token, one guy buys 50% of that token, and then sends all of those percentages to different wallets. So if you look at it, you're thinking, this is perfectly fine. No one has a big wallet. But then Bubble Map shows you that all these wallets are connected. So you can literally see that one guy has 50% of the supply, which is very, it can be or dangerous. Because if that user says, you know what, I'm done with this token, he's going to dump that 15%, and then the token is going to zero. So all these things is what we're doing these days and trying to filter out 99% of the scams. So you're left with the 1% that we think are not direct scams and have a possible bright future. I do have to say, obviously, not all tokens do well. Let's be honest. I mean, I still post about tokens that I think would do well, but it turns out they did not do well. So we're losing money on that, but we're trying to filter out the scams. That's what we do.
I'm kind of curious about the ratio of coins that fail or are scams and the ones that have success, because you're mentioning that for these coins you go for a 2x or a 3x, right?
Yep.
So that basically means you need to have about 30 to 50% correct in order to break even. How does it reflect to actual results?
Like you said, 20-30% are the ones that we have that are successful. I'd say those are successful where they do different multiples. So like you said, 2x, 3x, 4x, 5x. Then we have got, I don't know the exact statistics, but then we've got a couple that do well but aren't that special, so they go up 50%, something like that. And then we also have like 10 to 20%, I think, that go to zero pretty easily. But the way to sort of make money with this is to educate that risk management, like we talked about. And unfortunately, I still see people not doing this, and that's the issue, and that's what I'm trying to tell. I had a DM of a guy a week ago where I did a call which did a 25x within a week. He sent me a DM and he said, hey man, the token that you talked about, absolute, bollocks. I lost a lot of money on this token. Then I checked the token and it did a 25x after my call. Well, I thought, how can you lose money on a 25x? So I asked him, what did you do? And he said he invested around 1K in the token. It went to 25K, the bag he had, but he didn't sell. So eventually the token went to, I wasn't zero, but it was close to zero. So he lost $500 actually on the trade. And that's a very good example where I'm thinking, how can you lose money when a token goes from when your bag goes from 1K to 25K and you don't sell? So in such an example, you should have sold whenever it went 2x, 3x, you should have sold your bag, so at least you have your investment back. Then he did a couple multiples again, and eventually he would have made 5K, 6K, 7K out of this trade, whereas now he lost $500. So that's where I'm trying to educate people on how to trade these coins. What do you do if it does well? And then eventually you're making up for the bad ones with trades like these, but then you do have to sell.
And do you have the same risk management for all tokens, or is there like a different way of taking profits depending on which kind of project it is?
Yeah, for the low cap ones, this is exactly what I do with all of them. Because like I said, it's the token that I just mentioned as example went to 25x within a week, and then within a day it went to almost 0. So you can't really time them. Once again, you can't time the targets, so you just need to have a strategy where if it does well, if it does 2x, 3x, you sell it. So I do it pretty much for any low cap altcoin. And for the bigger ones, like the more long-term portfolio that I'm holding for a year or so, I only do it with DCA or with a time target. But for the low cap ones, whenever there's a 2x, 3x, I take out my initial investment. The rest that's still in the token, see it as a moon bag. And whenever that moon bag does a 2x, 3x again, I take out the moon bag. Then the part that's still in it, whenever it does a 2x, 3x again, I take out that sort of bag that we had. And then I just rinse and repeat that way. And that's sort of how eventually you're going to make money on the big ones. That makes up for the ones that are losing money.
Yeah, that's so interesting. But what has been your biggest loss in crypto?
It's actually a funny story. I mean, we can talk about two things where one was a success but eventually lost. The biggest one that I lost was Luna, unfortunately. The stablecoin UST by Luna. I mean, I'm not sure if everyone knows about Luna, but Luna was a coin that was in the top 10 market cap. And all of a sudden, sort of, we had some bad news and Luna went to 0 within days. And they had a stablecoin behind Luna. It was an algorithmic stablecoin. And whenever I made some profit in crypto, I sort of exchanged it to UST, the stablecoin by Luna. But then Luna crashed and UST sort of depegged and went to 0 as well. I was on a holiday as well, so I couldn't sell my tokens because everything is behind a Harbor wallet. So I couldn't sell it. And I can't remember, but I lost more than 200K on UST, unfortunately. So that's my biggest loss per one token, so to speak. And then another story is Floki. You probably know Floki, the meme coin. I was in Floki very, very early when they bridged to another chain, and I had more than 2.5% of the entire supply. And looking back at it in the bull run, the 2.5% supply would have been worth more than 20 million, 25 million. But I sold it for, I can't remember, I think 20K, 25K eventually. So I made a good amount of money on the trade itself, like 20K. But looking back at it, if I kept the tokens and I would have sold it sort of bull run wise, it would have been worth 20 million, 25 million. So it's not directly a loss, but unfortunately I sold way too soon. And that's a perfect example where I shouldn't have sold the entire bag, but I should have done the 2x, 3x part where I made some money, sell 2x, 3x, take out my initial investment. The moon bag did a 2x, 3x again, take out the moon bag. I should have done it that way. Then obviously you're not getting the most amount of profit, but that way you are sort of DCAing the way up. And I should have done that, then it would have been worth a lot of money.
Yes, so actually along the way you developed this strategy of risk management and taking profits and securing the investment basically, right?
Yep. I mean, I started off trading just like anyone that's starting off trading, like we said in 2021. So at that time when I made some money, I sold everything and that's it. So over the years, I've sort of developed a strategy and got used to it. And that's why I'm trying to educate people on doing the same.
But you're naming very big numbers. Are you open to share what the size of your wallet is?
I mean, it depends on what wallets I sort of do. I started off with nothing. Like I said, the initial investment that I had was around 10K that I earned with playing the game Counter-Strike. That got into sort of 2016, 2017 in Bitcoin. Obviously, it got worth a lot more. And the beginning of 2021, I had 2 very good trades. One being PancakeSwap, the token by Cake. I bought it for 40 cents and was able to sell it at the exact top at $40 per piece. That was my first 100x actually. And I made a good amount of money with that. So the entire wallet, I mean, I don't think it's ever smart to mention your entire portfolio, but I made a good amount of money over the past years. And that's why I also say, and what I'm trying to teach people as well is, I don't have my money sort of with me. I don't have it on me. I have got my long-term portfolios all sitting behind hardware wallets. These wallets are actually in vaults over the country, so I don't have it at my home as well. Because I think at a certain point, if you do have a decent sized portfolio, you get people coming up to you and trying to think, you know what, we can steal the money. So that's why I'm always trying to educate people on, once you do get to a certain portfolio, you need to make sure it's safe and secure. So the long-term portfolio, I have it all stored behind hardware wallets in vaults over the Netherlands. So I made a good amount of money. I can't complain. I also moved over to real estate, gold, stocks, with the money that I made in crypto. So I now have a more broader portfolio, so to speak.
But can we call you a crypto millionaire?
I mean, if you've got a million Satoshis, you're a crypto millionaire, right?
Yeah, but the reason I ask is because I'm kind of curious. How do you manage your security, because you're also a influencer, maybe some people even call you a finfluencer. So you are one of the first people that are getting the attention, right? So it is very important, especially for you, to keep your funds safe, right? So what are the steps you teach other people to stay protected?
Yeah, mainly, obviously, the hardware wallet is a big thing. So if you've got a bit in crypto, let's say you got $500 in crypto, a hardware wallet is like $100, so there's no point in having the hardware wallet. But if someone has 50K, 100K in crypto, then having a hardware wallet adds so much safety. Because let's say someone hacks your wallet or your PC, or comes up to you and says, you know what, I want you to transfer your money to me. Having a hardware wallet helps with an extra layer of security. So that's why I always try to teach people. For the ones that don't know, a hardware wallet is pretty much an extra, it's like multi-factor authentication, where if I want to do a transaction, I have to agree with it or confirm it on a piece of hardware, so to speak. And if you don't have that hardware, you can't execute the transaction. So what I try to teach people is you need to have a hardware wallet for the extra safety. And then if you come up to another level where, like we talked about, you have a good amount of money where people will target you, what I then do is I have these hardware wallets in vaults across the Netherlands. So let's say you come up to me with a gun and you say, you know what, Sjuul, I need you to transfer this money to me. I can't do it because I need my hardware wallet, but my hardware wallets are in safes over the Netherlands. And once you go to such a location and you have the gun on my head, you can come in with me, if you know what I mean. So then you can walk in and say, this guy is having a gun against my head. So that's sort of my extra security, where I don't really have the possibility to send you a big amount of money without my hardware wallet, and my wallets are in vaults and safes over the Netherlands. So I can't do a transaction right now, if you know what I mean.
All right, that's very cool to know. All right, so take me to the moment you invested an amount of money in PancakeSwap, and it does a 100x.
Yeah.
How do you feel, and why did you decide to cash out?
I mean, it's things like these don't happen overnight, so it's not that you instantly see, now it's worth 1K and then 100x, 100K. It sort of goes up, obviously, over time. But at that time, I was starting in crypto, so I can't remember the amount of money I invested, but it was a couple K, I think, where I started off with some money and it got more. And, it turned into 10K, and then it turned into 20K, and then into 30K. And the risk with that, and that's what I didn't know at that time and I'm trying to teach right now, is you get greedy. So it turns into 10K, it turns into 20K, you're thinking, this can go up, it can become 30K, it can become 40K, it can become 50K. Everyone's greedy, and that's a dangerous part in crypto and money in general. And at that time, I was very greedy as well, where I just saw it going up, and I thought, now we're sitting at 50K, it can become 100K if it does a 2x, or it can become 1 million even. So at that time I was very greedy, and then it got up to the $40, and I can't remember, but it then eventually got listed on Binance, or there was a big moment happening. And luckily at that time I thought, this is it, I just need to cash out right now and move on to something else. So I sold it all, pure luck, no skill, nothing at all, just pure luck where I sold it. And I think I sold it for $39 or 40, and then one day later it went up to 42 or 43 even, so it got a bit higher, and then it sort of crashed and went down. So luckily I sold it all. So the feeling was obviously is very nice, because you make a lot of money. At that time I started trading full time, because I had a good crypto portfolio after that. I can't really describe the feeling anymore, but it's it doesn't happen overnight. It just, you get used to it, but you get greedy, and that's dangerous.
So it's actually quite dangerous to make a lot of money, because it could be too late.
It is. It's the same as the story that I just said, where someone invests 1K and it turns up to 25K. You then think, I did so well, it can become 50K, it become 100K. But 99% of the time, it doesn't reach these targets, it goes down. So you need to sell, and you need to know what to do at those points. And exactly that is what I try to explain and talk about on my socials.
And was it the end of the bull run, or of that specific bull run, or what caused it to crash?
I can't remember anymore, because it wasn't I think it was March 2021 or April 2021 when PancakeSwap was at the top and where I sold, whereas the bull run went on to, what was it, November I think was the peak. I can't remember exactly what happened and why it went down. I think the hype or the narrative just changed, where PancakeSwap was the one that allowed trading on Binance Smart Chain, obviously, as the first ones. They had the staking part, and I think all these things sort of had the hype at the beginning of 2021, and then sort of new things came which were better or more efficient or whatever, which caused PancakeSwap to go down.
Yeah, because I remember 2021 was kind of the SafeMoon era, with a lot of these meme tokens
Shiba,
actually being launched. So it's quite interesting to see that the decentralized exchange went along with it. It's probably one of the reasons, right?
Yeah.
But I'm kind of curious. I want to go to the moment where that bull run is ending and you're basically preparing for the next one, because you're still in the game, you're still trading and investing. Did you just leave the market for the 2 years in between, or did you stay active with crypto?
It's actually a funny story, because I stopped working at my regular job at October 2021, went into crypto full time, had a very good month in October and November, and then sort of we went down. And I was live I stopped working for 2 months pretty much. But luckily I had enough skin in the game where I knew I could sort of survive the coming years, so to speak. And like I said, at that time, people started to reach out to me, platforms wanted to work together with me, where I thought I can actually turn this into a business and sort of move away from just a regular Twitter page, but turn it more into a business. And that's exactly what I've been doing for the past years, where I expanded to Telegram. I had a Discord group. I created a newsletter where every week I would, talk about crypto. Like I said, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, a platform now, AltCryptoTalk. So I sort of expanded to stay relevant and kept talking about crypto, because I knew that we will see a pump happening again, or a bull run at some time. But I wanted to stay relevant. So I just started to expand and talk more about crypto, actually. And that's what I've been doing for the past years. And I think that's one of the reasons why nowadays we are growing very, steadily and are still here, so to speak. Because we've expanded and we've turned into more of a platform instead of just a regular Twitter page that talks about something and that's it. And that's exactly the way where I want to go with the company, where we go more of we turn more into a media company specialized in crypto and less just a regular Twitter page talking about crypto.
And that's your goal as well, or what's the goal you're trying to achieve? Do you have a specific thing?
That's what I'm trying to achieve. I think there are a lot of pages or Twitter pages or social media pages that talk about one thing in crypto and that's it. And I think we need to go, and that's what I'm trying to make more of a hub or a platform where if you're new into crypto, you can come to my socials or my platform or whatever, learn about crypto. But also if you're more advanced and already know things about crypto, but you want to know things about Telegram trading bots or whatever, and more specific, that you can also come to my pages or my platform. And that's exactly what I'm trying to make with my Twitter page, the YouTube channel that we're doing, the AltCryptoTalk platform that we're now running live, and also the things that I have got planned in the future.
And how does this entrepreneurial journey go for you? Because there is a point where you made a lot of profit in crypto, and then you decide, okay, I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to build my business around my crypto success, right?
Yeah.
Has there been any challenges along the way to build this crypto empire?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, running a business is sort of is stressful, obviously. Luckily I now have a team that helps me create all the content, do everything with me. So that saves up my time and then allows me to, do other things pretty much, or pick up something new for the company. But it is challenging. And one example is the AltCryptoTalk platform that I'm running right now. I started off with in last year, I think October or September pretty much, where it went live. And I had the idea, I create a lot of content. We do a lot of research into projects. We talk about different projects, exchanges, you name it. But the downside with Twitter or X these days is that if I talk about it now, it's gone within a day. So I thought we need a place to sort of where I can document all of this and people can look at this content a year later or half a year later, which is why we started the AltCryptoTalk platform. I hired a very good, working partner with me that creates the website, does the SEO part, the technical part, and 2 people that do the content full time. And we've been busy with it since last year, October. And actually last week we fixed a couple issues with Google, which now allows us to go on Google. So for the past almost year, I've been investing money into it. We've been posting content, we've been developing it, but no one was actually able to see it or we weren't showing up on Google. So you can imagine that it's costing a lot of money to build it. And only now are we starting to see traffic coming in, people talking about it. So things like these do cost a lot of money and it's a risk, obviously. There are quite a few challenges to making such a platform.
And what is the actual business model of your business company?
The way that I want to go to is more, like I said, more of a media company, and obviously media company lives out of sponsorships, deals with projects, deals with companies. That's where we're going to. Affiliates is what we're sort of busy with right now, but also views obviously you can turn views into business, so to speak. Creating podcasts, creating YouTube videos, you can turn that into money pretty much, and that's exactly what we're doing with the entire platform.
All right, I'm a Finfluencer too.
Yeah.
One of the things I get a lot is if you make so much money with crypto, why do you need a company? What would your answer
good
be?
question. I don't ask money for anything. That's one thing. Good to know. So I don't charge people money for groups or information or content that I create. Everything is free, so everyone is able to, watch it or listen to it freely. And like I said, I never originally had the idea to create a company. I have sort of needed my Twitter page for my own bookkeeping, and that sort of rolled into a company. And right now, I still do a lot of trading. I still do the things that I like. But next to that, we've created a company out of it and a platform. So the question, why would you need it? I don't necessarily need it, but I talk about crypto anyway. So why not make a business out of it and have a dream to become a big platform where we can do something better for crypto. And that's exactly what I'm trying to build.
Okay. And what is the biggest lesson you have learned during your entrepreneurship?
Crypto-wise would be never invest money that you can lose, because eventually it could go down or could go to zero. Have a solid risk strategy, like I said. If it does well, you need to take out your money. There's a famous saying, no one ever went broke by taking profit. So, that's a good lesson to learn. Big lesson to learn would be it's very stressful and very it can cost a lot of money to build something, but if eventually you are able to build what you had in mind, it's very rewarding and it's a very good feeling to have, if you know what I mean. I think that's very important to know.
You're now online. You have followers.
Yep.
You have money.
Yep.
You have a business.
Yep.
You have the things that a lot of people look up to or want themselves, perhaps. How do you, and the reason I'm curious what your answer is that from my personal experience, you are one of the more open and friendly people in the industry. You're not really, you're so down to earth, you know. It's very easy to approach you. You're very friendly. I believe you have your heart at the right place.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this means that you're kind of vulnerable to maybe fake friends or people who are looking out for their own interests.
Yep.
How do you protect yourself from these influences or dangers, maybe even?
I mean, it's hard to say how to do so, but over the past years, I've sort of started to notice when, exactly like you said, people are with you because they agree with you or they like the things you do and they want to do something with it as well, or they are with you because of the influence and sort of the position that you're in. I've started to sort of notice it, how to find out what people really want over the past years. But still, sometimes someone walks up to you or someone sends me a message acting as if it's all fun and well and they sort of, want to do something together with you. And then eventually, if you ask some questions and you're busy with them for a couple months, you find out that they had a completely different agenda or different thoughts behind it. So I still have it, but it's luckily over the past years, I've sort of developed a feeling for it because because it's gone wrong over the past years, obviously. I wouldn't exactly know how to do it exactly, but you just get a feeling over the time. And like you said, the down to earth part, I guess it's how I am, and the same as how many people are starting. I started off behind a PC while I was studying, doing some, I played a game where I made some money, and that sort of rolled into the crypto story. And I think a lot of people are starting off the same way. And sometimes you get someone that made money on a different way or that are not really down to earth, and they're saying, look at me and look what I did, and I made a 50K within a week, and I do this and I do that. Look at me driving in a Ferrari. I don't really like those type of people, so I don't, work with those or do anything with them. I mean, just an example, I don't have a Ferrari, I don't have a Lamborghini, I just drive a regular Volvo car. It's, I guess it's just how you sort of are and what you've been doing for the past years and how it formed you. And that's still the guy I am today.
And what about maybe old friends that maybe got jealous or did you lose people along the way or?
It's actually a good question because no one really asked me that, to be fair. I can't really remember sort of losing people, in honesty. I mean, sometimes, and this is just doesn't really have to do with crypto, but I think the part of a business where I'm very short on time these days. And sometimes I'm noticing that friends or people from the past where I used to have a lot of time, they ask me, hey, can we hang out? Or hey, let's do this or this. Where I don't really have the time to do it anymore because, like I said, I've got a family, I've got kids, I've got a company to run. So I don't really have the time anymore. And you're not losing them, but it's a bad feeling where I have to say to them, no, I can't do it because I just don't have the time. So I haven't really lost them, but I don't see them that much anymore, if you know what I mean. And I don't like that. So I try to find a balance and try to, make up time to do things that I've been doing with these friends for the past years. But I haven't really lost them. Some people do ask me more for crypto guide or crypto advice. You know this as well, where you're at a birthday where they say, hey, Sjuul, you got some, what coin should I buy? But I try to never give them advice because I think once you give advice to a friend or a family, they buy it and then it goes bad and they look differently at you. So I never give advice to friends and family. And I always say, have a look at my socials because that's what I do and that's my public information. So I haven't really lost them, but it is shifted sort of the way how we do things together.
Mm-hmm. And do you have any big dreams you want to achieve in life?
My sort of thought on life has changed since I now have 2 kids. Where I used to think, we need to go to Dubai, we need to drive Ferraris, we need to do this, we need to do that. And in honesty, I've done that. I've went to Dubai, I've rented the cars and I've driven around in them. But then when I'm there, I'm thinking, what's the point in being here? And then when I get home, I sort of when I'm somewhere else, I'm thinking, what am I doing here? I want to come home and I want to sit behind my desk at my office and do the things that I do. So dream-wise, I'd say, like I said, I'm trying to move over the company more to a media company, or more of a bigger platform, which is what I'm exactly doing right now. So it would be good to see that and to have that succeed. Apart from that, I've got everything I want. I mean, I've got a house, I've got kids, I've got money to live, I've got a company that's doing well, I've got friends, I've got family. What more do we need?
Mm-hmm. And how old are you now today?
I'm turning 30 this year.
30, okay. And what would you tell your younger self? So let's say you were 20 years old or maybe even younger. If there was any advice you could give yourself, what would it be and why?
I'd say just do it. And this can be in anything. Can be in crypto, can be in, walking up to a girl. It can be anything. Where I was more of an introvert type of guy, where I played PC games all night long and, was more of a nerd type of guy. And looking back at it, I think I would have said to myself, you know what, you should do this a bit more, or just try it. Or same with crypto, for example, where people say, should I go in crypto? How do I start? Should I look at a guide? Should I look at an ebook, whatever? And I always advise, just get started. Just, get $100 or $200, buy a coin and just try it. And then eventually you're going to lose the money, but you are going to learn from it and you're going to roll into something else. So I'd say my advice would be is just hesitate less and do more, if you know what I mean.
So approach the girl and talk about crypto. Did you? How were you envisioning your future when you were like in middle school, for example? So did you have any dreams? Because crypto is fairly new. I mean, it wasn't around. So what were your dreams before that? Because you couldn't imagine to be a crypto entrepreneur.
No, not at all. I mean, when I studied, like I said, I did computer science, so I was busy with computers all time. Mm-hmm. And I saw myself doing something computer related, whether it's a cybersecurity like I did or something else. I didn't really have the thought of having a company like this that we're having right now. Mm-hmm. But I've been busy, like I said, online with trading, selling things, setting up things. So I knew somewhere in the future I'd probably either have my own company or do something entrepreneurial, but I didn't think it would be in crypto. What else it would be, I can't really say, but I did have a thought of saying, you know what, I'm going to probably build something or do something for my own. And that sort of got true, mm-hmm. But then in crypto.
Yeah, very cool. What's the thing that makes you the happiest in life?
I mean, it's very cliche, but my kids and my wife or the girlfriend right now is, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, the stories are fun and well, where you make money, you go to Dubai, you go to somewhere else, you spend money, you drive a nice car. It's all fun and well, but it's fun for a couple hours. You get used to it. That's the thing. Mm-hmm. So I like to go to these places for a week or on a holiday, but then when I get back, the things that I enjoy most is to spend a weekend day with sort of my family. I like to do barbecues, so spend time at home, have a barbecue, and at the end of the day, sit on my couch and watch a TV episode. I just enjoy that the most, and then sitting on my office doing the things that I do with my company, building that and working with the people that we have right now. It's very cliche, but it is true. It's what I like.
And online, sometimes people are referring to crypto as being generational wealth, right?
Yeah, true.
Do you have a wallet set up for your kids, or are you not doing anything related for the other one?
I do. I've got I've got 2 sons. They both have one hardware wallet with 1 Bitcoin on it, and I sort of I left it like I said in a safe here in the Netherlands, and sort of with a note with it. And then once they get 18, they'll have the how do you say, the seed phrase of the wallet. What will it be worth? Will it be the 10 million like you said? Will it be the 1 million? I don't know. Will it be worth nothing? Possibly. But yeah, just they both have one hardware wallet with 1 Bitcoin on it. Yeah. And then let's see what it will be.
That's very cool. I hope it becomes more. It would be such a bummer if they turn 18 and
it's worth nothing. It was $5. Yeah.
I saved this for you guys.
Yeah.
And how old are your kids?
3 and 10 months right now, almost 11.
And is the 3-year-old already kind of aware of what crypto is at all, or is it way too
No, I mean, he's talking right now a bit, and I explained him Bitcoin, and I said, so he can say
the
Bitcoin.
B for Bitcoin.
Yeah, and I bought a what's it called again? The little hodler. I'm not sure if you know them. They're like little pushy with a Bitcoin. He has that in his bed, so whenever we go to bed, he says something like Bitcoin and things like that. But I don't think he understands what I do or what the concept is behind it. I actually got given a book by Bart Brands, a friend of mine, about gold and about how sort of money is working, and it's also written more towards children as well. So once he's able to read, I'll give that to him so he can learn on how sort of money is made and what the idea behind it is. So obviously I will teach them, and they will grow up knowing what crypto is and what I do, but right now he doesn't understand it yet.
I think there are also books called like Blockchain for Babies and these kind of concepts, right?
Yeah,
that's very, very cool. And where did you learn about these concepts yourself? You just dove in and you just went on a full-blown research, or was it just trial and error all the time?
Yeah, both actually. Like I said, I got in crypto by playing a video game pretty much, and I didn't know about. It's not that I heard about Bitcoin or crypto and I thought, this is the future, I need to be in crypto. I just got into it luckily by playing the video game. And then by trial and error, like I said, the Binance Smart Chain exploded. So I saw more and more coins popping up on social media. And I thought, you know what, I need to do something with this. I saw Cake popping up and I thought, what's this about? And then I did some research and tried it a couple times and learned along the way, and that's what I still do to this day. So we have a new chain, we have a new project, I do some research into it, I look into it, and then I try to do something with it, and we learn from it.
And did you try other concepts as well, like mining or yield farming, and what are your thoughts about the other things you can do to generate more crypto?
Yeah, I tried Bitcoin mining, I did some mining actually. I did Dogecoin mining, I remember Dogecoin. In honesty, there is still Dogecoin on a wallet somewhere, but I lost the PC and I have no idea. I can't remember if it was a lot on, I don't know, it's somewhere. But I did it for fun at that time, not really knowing what it could do, what it did. And I think right now to do a Bitcoin mining is hard right now to make profit, because you need to pay the power. So I think either in different countries, or right now you're starting to see things where for example, like greenhouses or lighthouses are starting to save up the energy and then use that to do Bitcoin mining. I think developments like these are very good for the industry, but I don't do it myself. Things like airdrops, I like to talk about them because I think it's a good way for people to get started with crypto. So we do these things. We talk about it with the company. We create content around on YouTube. So yeah, we do talk about it, but I don't do it myself.
And did you ever consider to create an own crypto project or something similar?
I talked about it, and quite a few people ask me this, but the downside is, one, you need to have a lot of time to run a project, and I just don't have the time right now. 2, it's very hard to do this legitimately and make money out of it. So let's say I start a project, we've got some tokens. Eventually I'm going to have to sell these tokens to, make money to run the project. Then because my face is behind it, because I'm a public figure these days, people will call me a scammer or whatever because I'm selling these tokens. So at that point, I'm thinking, what's the point in doing so? Because no one's going to win from this. Because either I run it and have to sell eventually, so people are going to be mad, I lose out of it, people lose out of it. Or we run it and I don't sell, and then eventually I'm going to go bankrupt because I need to pay for the project. So I've thought about it, but I've decided not to do it because I think it's only going to cause bad news.
And where's the difference then? Because you have a big community, you have a lot of followers, so why not create your own meme token and just say it's a joke? Because that's basically what a meme token is, no?
Yeah, true. There's no utility behind it. But I think the token eventually goes to zero. Let's be honest. Quite a few meme coins usually go to zero. And eventually, if I would run something, it probably go to zero as well, because you don't have any utility behind it, so it's hard to develop and to keep up with it. And I think once it does go to zero, you'll be known as the guy that hosted a project and it went to zero and people lost money on it. So yeah, what's the benefit? I think people eventually will say you're a scammer or talk bad about you. So yeah, why would I do it?
And then what makes the difference between a Doge or a Pepe or Shiba, Floki or a whatever meme coin that's still in the top 100,
still here,
right?
Yeah.
And the ones that die out because they, that's not true for Floki. They are developing and building a metaverse and these kind of things. But they are starting out as a joke. But is it that they're staying there because they are developing things? Because Doge still doesn't do anything
at all. I mean, I think it's apart that where they develop things, but also, for example, like Doge, it's the biggest one. It's the one that started it. So it's the same thing where I think Bitcoin will stay the biggest one because it's the number one, if you know what I mean. And it's the same with Dogecoin, Shiba. The community behind it is so big. I mean, even Elon Musk is talking about Dogecoin. So the community behind it is so big, and the people behind it is huge. Where I think that is sort of it's an idea or a project that's staying alive because of all the people that's in it. And the same goes with Pepe or Floki or Shiba, where they started off as being the first one, and because they got so big, it's still here, what I think. And then you got Pepe, you got Pepe Floki Inu, you got Pepe this, you get Pepe that, but then these die out because they're more of like a copycat of the big one. And I think that's the case that's happening right now.
And what do you think about celebrity tokens? Because these are kind of popping off right now as well.
Yeah, true.
And they are going up.
Yeah.
Do you think these will die out, or do you think...
Yeah, I mean, it's that we talked about the narrative that I do. So I trade these celebrities coins right now because, like you said, they're the hype. So you need to be on it. So I trade these. But I think it's the same story as why you asked why I don't do it, is these tokens the narrative will eventually shift over to something else. These tokens will go down, and then it's sort of like a snowball that keeps on going, where one token went down and all the other ones are going to follow. So I think if it's the narrative, which it is right now, you can trade these.
All right. What do you think about the MiCA regulations that are coming up, the regulations in Europe, basically?
I think it can be a benefit, or it can be a positive thing for crypto, because I think if we want to see global crypto adoption, then probably we need some more regulations. However, and that's what I hope, that they don't over-regulate it. So, I mean, obviously exchanges and I think transactions that you're going to do, you need to show what are you doing, where are transactions coming from. We have this in traditional finance anyway, so it was only logical to have it in crypto as well. So I do think regulations can be a good thing for crypto. But I just hope they don't over-regulate it, which wouldn't make it workable anymore, if you know what I mean. I mean, if you have to show every transaction of $500, for example, then there's no point in trading anymore. Or if you buy a meme coin and you stake it, and then you get an airdrop, and then it's difficult to sort of document it all. And if that's the way we're going to go to, then I think it's going to be very difficult. So let's just hope they don't over-regulate it.
And if you had one final message in this camera for the people at home on how to be more happy, what would you tell them?
More happy? I'd say, I mean, it's very cliche again, but I'd say you need to enjoy the moment that you're in right now, because, I mean, life's too short to, not enjoy of it. And, I mean, money obviously is important. It's difficult to live without money, but I've noticed that there's only so much money that you can actually use or can do something with it. So you need to enjoy the other things. I mean, enjoy the small things in life. That's the most important thing. And obviously, you need to get into crypto. That's how we all get happy.
Well, thanks to you, I'm enjoying this moment very much. So I'm happy today.
Good to hear.
But where can the people find you? Is there any place you have X, you have YouTube? What are the channels you can be found?
My name, sort of how people know me, is AltCryptoGems. Obviously, the biggest platform and the platform that I do the most content on would be X or Twitter. So that's just at AltCryptoGems. Same goes for YouTube, AltCryptoGems as well. And once you find these, I'm sort of in the descriptions anywhere and every sort of platform that you can think of. One thing that might be good to say is that there are a lot of impersonators, so be sure to follow the real one. Same on Instagram, we've got the tick, the check mark, so be sure to follow that one, AltCryptoGems as well. And on Instagram, I do things like show, for example, this podcast, more behind the scenes. But it's good to say that there are a lot of impersonators. You might have this as well, that send messages out of people's accounts or try to fake. So be sure that you're not getting one of these. And then AltCryptoGems, that's the name.
Good. And which guest should we have on this podcast in a future edition?
Michael Saylor.
CZ
might be a good one.
Yeah, that would be amazing, actually.
Yeah.
But CZ is in jail now, right?
Yeah.
He's
I think 3
time,
months or something he got eventually. He had to pay the fine as well. But I mean, in honesty, it's 3 months or 4 months, so I don't think he's that.
Pretty soon, next season.
Yeah, exactly. Next season, invite CZ over.
All right. Anyway, guys, thank you so much for being here. First of all, like this video if you want to see more podcast episode, more crypto content. Subscribe so you don't miss anything, and comment which guest you want to see next time. Thank you so much, and see you in the next one.
Thank you.